Hey there everyone, Dr. Beth Westy here, and I wanted to pop on and talk about exercise and stress and exercise while being stuck at home. What are some things that you should be looking for looking at that type of a thing? I'm obviously not leading you through a group workout with this one right now, but I will be doing some more demo stretches, things like that, to get your body physically moving and in better shape in the coming future. So again, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, which is just Dr. Beth Westy, so you stay updated on some of those videos that I'm going to be having coming out. Those are going to be new, different styles, yay! And that you have your notification turned on so that you get notified when I do these live videos, because some of these, when I talk about movement and body structure, posture, form, everything, they're going to be really, really good and very informative. Very, very informative. So when I wanted to focus though on exercise and stress, I've gotten some questions from a lot of women on, okay, what type of exercise should I be doing right now? I'm stuck at home. I'm not going to the gym anymore. I still want to be healthy, blah, 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 but I'm under a lot of stress now. Things are really different for me. So what should I do? Blah, blah, blah. And there's a few things I want to kind of cover before I go through my list here of things. The one thing to keep in mind is that this can be a really stressful, very different time for you. And it's really hard not to put even more pressure on yourself to just, oh my gosh, you're at home now. You have all this time. You should be working out like all the time, because what else are you doing? It's almost easier if your life and lifestyle is in a regular routine where you're like, okay, I get up early and get to the gym and then do this and then do that and da-da-da-da and then go to work. And if you're like, well, I'm not even driving 30 minutes to work anymore and I'm not driving home for 30 minutes, so I should have all this other time, etc. But a lot of times it's so easy to forget about the time that we had that was actually easier to play with. I have women that I'm working with that are like, I can't believe how much busier I am now that I'm at home. And some of the time that you're going to need at home is actually decompression time. Some of the time that you're going to need is not just forcing yourself to stick to a rigid schedule, but I mean, there can be things that happen where you're like, I need to take a beat. I need to, process and decompress a little bit. And this is not, I can't just keep pushing myself right now. And that's very, very normal, and that's okay. So to feel like you don't have all the time in the world, even if you're like, I feel like I should have all the time in the world. Ugh. That's the pressure that we're putting on ourselves to make it like the most fitness time ever, right? Ooh. Yeah, I know. So take this with a grain of salt in terms of how much exercise should you actually be doing. Whatever is working for you. If you get 10 minutes in of a good stretch, awesome, right? If you go for a nice walk, super duper. If you get 30 minutes in of something, that's great. But a lot of times you're expecting yourself to do and perform at the same level, same intensity, same time frame as you did, let's say 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and your system is under a completely different amount of stress right now. So it's not normal to expect the same performance-wise out of your body if your system is under more stress now, and pretty much everybody's is. So when we talk about like, oh, what's the best type of exercise, or what should I be doing? You know what I mean? Jennifer's saying, excellent advice, give yourself grace in all situations. Yes. Yeah. Giving yourself grace and realizing what your system really needs at this time. You might have a couple of days, and I've gone through this. I have had some days where I was like, I'm having a great day. Like, it was nice out, and I went out, and it was really pleasant, or I had a really fun time with my kids, And then there's other days where I'm like, I think I'm going to take a spoon and just gouge out my own eyeball right now because I just can't, right? And on some of those days, I was like, maybe I shouldn't try and push myself so hard. Maybe I'll just do some, light yoga for about 15 minutes, call it good, right? And then that's going to be it. And it's whatever your system needs and can handle, right? It's day to day right now, honestly, right? So if you're one of those people that's like, I normally do a scheduled workout program and I follow this regimen and da-da-da-da-da. Great. If that's helping you stay, you know what I mean? Like routine for you, super duper. But even if you normally did that and you're like, okay, normally I work out for an hour and you're only doing 30 minutes now, that's still good. And that's still enough for your body right now, right? Because again, that increase in exercise and physical strain and stress is also adding on to the mountain of emotional stress, mental stress, and things that just shift and change minute to minute, it seems like. And on top of just everything else, So keep that in mind as I talk about these things. That's my disclaimer right up front. It's whatever is up for you and what you're up for. So I'm going to be doing a podcast recording that talks about some different things health-wise to manage. I got a whole list of questions from people on healthy ways and healthy tips, and they're all over the board. So I'm going to be spending some more time on exercise and stress and just different types of movement for people while you're at home. So we'll be diving into this a little bit more. Veronica, you're going day by day as long as you get some form of exercise in. Yes, it's a win. Absolutely. Absolutely. And for some people, they have a whole home gym. Great. Some people don't have anything. So you're making do with whatever you find around. And that's fine too, right? Your movement day to day is going to be different, and it's dependent on what your body, your system needs. And sometimes it's even up to that day. So when we look at exercise and stress, again, because of coronavirus, the COVID-19 and everything, and our lives are very, very different now than what they used to be typically. The stress that we're under is so much more. The tough thing about stress that I want to just mention quickly is that it's really hard to look at somebody and to even look at yourself and be like, oh, look, this cup of stress today is super heavy. Yeah, it's like a cup of lead versus a cup of feathers, right? You can't just immediately measure it and know. It's more of like you get to the end of the day and you're like, why am I so exhausted and I'm so mentally worn out, right? I mean, with kids, sometimes you can see it if they get stressed and they have a meltdown. Adults, we typically try to push through and we're like, I can tough it out. I'm just going to keep going. Ugh. And then, you wear yourself out and burn yourself out to a point where it's so hard to come back from. So we're going to focus on not getting to that extreme level and just considering, oh, I have a mountain of stress right now. That's what's going on. How do I really work through this fitness piece of it to still be, doing the healthy things, but not overdoing it, right? Monitoring your heart rate. Now, monitor your heart rate in terms of where your heart rate should be. If you have no idea and you're like, well, I'm not really that in shape, what should it be? Is there a chart? Yes, there are charts, there are things, right? But you'll find your heart rate, at a normal rate at what it should be. I love my Polar watch here. It's telling you my nightly recharge. I slept really good last night. It tells me what my heart rate is, and it also tracks all my training, so I can monitor my heart rate training session to training session and make sure it's not getting too high. Also keep in mind for women that when you're in the progesterone phase, that's days 15 through 28, your heart rate is also going to be higher at that point anyway than it is in the estrogen phase. A lot of times it has to do with blood volume and different water retention that you have during that phase of the cycle. So keep that in mind and also be aware of that as you're training for things. But if you've not tracked your heart rate before and this is brand new for you, just start and just kind of think about, okay, I went for a walk one day and I went for the same walk the next day, except for I was really stressed out and my heart rate was higher. Maybe I shouldn't have walked that far, for an hour. Maybe I should have just done 30 minutes and then done some stretching or meditation instead, right? These are things that you can take into account, but start collecting that data on yourself. Monitor those. If you haven't started, start. If you do have a device that can monitor it, really start keeping track of that for yourself. Change it up. It's super easy to get stuck in a rut of the same thing again and again. Change it up by, going for walks, going on different routes even. Don't take the same route all the time. Go on different paths, different inclines, declines, things like that are going to make a big difference. Doing yoga, doing different types of yoga. I have no affiliation with this gal, but Yoga with Adriene, Adrianne, I think is how her name is spelled. I just really like her stuff. She's got a ton of different types of yoga videos. Ones that are like, 20 minutes just for low back. Oh, they're so great. And she has this dog that like hangs out in the background. He's really fun. So just some different things that you can do to stay amused, stay fresh with it, and really focus on different areas there. And then weights. Any type of weight. I don't care if it's soup cans. I don't care if it's empty milk jugs that are filled with water. I don't care if you find a big rock in your yard. Whatever it is, or if you're even just doing body weights, you need to do some type of weight-bearing activity. It's really important for muscle building, muscle growth, maintenance, and bone development, especially for women. Bone health, weight-bearing activities. Got to do something. Doesn't have to be a ton. It doesn't have to be super extreme. But even doing 2 sets of 10 of something, right? Lifting things over your head, getting pressure on your skeleton. Sounds weird to say that, but it is so important for bone health and muscle health. Yes. But changing it up. Do you have to do all these things in one day? No. Rotate through them, right? Weight training twice a week. Again, not intense. Do you need to be like dripping with sweat? No, you don't. You don't need to drip with sweat. That's not going to make it a better workout, especially when your system's already under a lot of stress. Right? It doesn't like prove that you burn more calories if you sweat more one day versus another. Plus, throughout the month, sometimes throughout the month, your body temperature is higher, so you're more likely to sweat at those points versus when your body temperature is lower. Right? If you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, right? If you want me to do a video just on hormones and exercise, I can. You can either comment below or send me a message, and I can really speak to that. But this is because this one's really focused on the stress response that people's systems have right now. Hydrate and electrolytes. Keep hydrating. If you're going out for a long walk, make sure you still hydrate. Again, when your system's under stress, you need to hydrate. You need to get those electrolytes in. It's super easy to forget. Again, even if you're thinking, well, I'm home. I'm not going anywhere. I've got all day. You can actually make yourself more busy at a day when you're just at home, not going anywhere, and forget to hydrate and drink water. Set timers on your phone, and if you're going to be out, going for a super long walk in nature, bring water with you. Bring hydration with you. Very, very, very important. Again, to help your system battle stress and manage the stress that you're under. This is really, really helpful with movement. Protein after. I cannot say enough good things about getting protein in after. In my book, The Female Fat Solution, I do talk about protein for women, protein pacing, all these things. And I talk about this, getting protein in, at least 20 grams of protein, if not more. And keep in mind, when your system is under stress, you will need more protein. Yes, you will need more protein than you normally get anyway. Yes. And then the last thing I want to mention is testing your hormones. If you are someone who has really been struggling maybe with movement, and you're like, okay, my cycle, and I had some hormonal issues before, and now that I'm home, and there's so much going on, and I'm really under a lot of stress, and my hormones are awful, and I'm trying to do these at-home workouts, and I'm really struggling because my system is not responding well. What's happening? Here is a link where you can fill out a questionnaire so I can get a Dutch test sent to you. This is going to be the correct type of Dutch test because there's different types. And then I go over the results with you and talk about the next best steps for you based on what your results are and what's happening. I mean, there's women where I've done Dutch tests with them and said, holy cow, okay, your adrenals are shot. You got nothing left. Stop trying to do CrossFit every day. That's making things worse. Right? And there's other women that I go through their Dutch test and I'm like, you know what? You can actually step it up a little bit more. Your system is responding better and things are moving in the right direction, and you can increase it without having a negative side effect. So it really does make a big difference when you're looking at exercise, movement, getting the right type of movement in your body, the right thing for you and the amount of stress that you're under, and your hormones. All these things work together. And that's the really tough thing I feel like for women right now is, there's this type of workout and somebody else is doing that and this and that and the other. And keep in mind that a lot of people, and it's great, right? It's so great that it's all out there, but you don't have to do all of it. And you don't have to do everybody's workout every day. You might find that, you know, you're feeling good and you're like, okay, I want to do a more intense workout. This is the person I like to follow for this more intense workout. I'll do their workout today. 2 days later, you might have had a really tough day. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe you just are having a hard time, right? Maybe some other stuff happened and you have even more stress on your system. Is that a really good day then to push your system super hard and do this intense workout? No. Do some other yoga, do something different, or even just take it as a rest day. That's totally fine. You don't need to push your system every day, and you don't need to follow the same thing. A lot of people and I have a lot of friends that are fitness professionals, and they're at home now, and they're like climbing the walls because they're so used to teaching like 6 fitness classes a day, and now they're like teaching 1 online fitness class a day. So sometimes they're even a little more intense. Keep that in mind too. Yeah, yes. So there's a lot of different things you can follow, a lot of different things you can do. And there's nothing wrong with even making up your own workout. And again, if you start a workout and you notice that 20 minutes in you're getting exhausted and feeling fatigued, stop. If you're under a lot of stress and you're having a hard time recovering, it's not a good idea to keep pushing your system so hard. Getting movement in is good, getting your heart rate up and doing something active is great. And really let your system help process the stress. So there's different things that when I work with women in a one-on-one capacity, I actually give you protocols specifically designed for your body to help move through that phase really quickly. But for the time being, you don't need to worry about pushing yourself and being like so extreme right now. Give your body the time, the recovery it needs, the rest it needs, and the right movement for where you're at. There. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. Please let me know if you have any questions though, in terms of doing a video talking more about exercise and hormones, different timing of that, what to look for. I can do a video on that if you'd like. Just let me know. And yeah. That's what I got for you guys tonight. All right. Hopefully you are all doing really well. And I'm hoping that, because I live in Minneapolis and it snowed yesterday and today, like a lot. Like there was blizzards at one point, and I had my son go out and shovel the deck when it was like sunny and bright. And then like an hour later, I looked outside and then we had, I swear, another 2 inches out there. I was like, what? That's crap. It's not, I don't want snow right now. Anyway, well, that's what I got for you guys tonight. Please let me know if you need any other help or resources. I got some fun stuff coming up. I'm not going to announce it yet, but some just fun things are happening. So within the next week or so, I'm rolling out with some fun new things. So stay tuned for that. But again, let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you want me to do videos more on hormones and exercise, the hormonal cycle and exercise. Yeah. Otherwise, have a great rest of your night, and I will see you later.